if they get any kind of extension, they'll just use the same laydown yard and just move on from there. But they already got, they got a lot of stuff there in that laydown yard.
You said Jonesville Road and which road?
Bun.
How many miles?
It's only like 2 miles of Jonesville and like maybe a mile of Bun. But that's not in total overlay, that's patch, that's,
Correct.
you know, skip patching with the paper.
Yep.
And then chip seal the whole thing.
So I take it it's not the portion of Jonesville Road that we just put the lip on, or the overlay on?
No.
That's the other side of 49.
That's the other side of 49, they're on
Okay.
town.
Okay.
So is county crews gonna do this work?
Yes,
Do we have
they'll provide the, you know, the cost for the gravel, and our guys will go out and spread it, lay it, grade the roads, paper patch and chip seal.
and you said $200,000 worth of gravel?
Yeah, pretty much. They've got quite a few gravels that they're running, and we're putting, depending on where it's at, 4 to 5 inches of gravel. So they acknowledge they've done some damage to the roads, and they still got to run them too, and so they would like them in a good shape for them too.
Are you using? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
No. So they've said yes. They actually called and initiated as to when to start all this, and so I'm appreciative of that. But
And they're gravel roads, not limestone roads.
yeah, they're all gravel up there.
Okay.
Yeah. They actually did ask about limestone because they're from the south and they're used to limestone, everything's limestone down there. And we're like, yeah, we'll use limestone, great, but it's like $15 a ton more.
Right.
So they said, well, maybe we'll go with the gravel because the roads are gravel. And so we could cap them with limestone, that'd be a lot better, but I think that was a little too much to bite off for the company.
So you're just gonna put more gravel, you're not gonna actually work it in and like reshape the road or anything?
No, it'll get reshaped when the gravel's on.
It will get reshaped, so is that?
It'll have to be, because actually they've got some berms.
That's what I'm saying, are we gonna get rid of all the berms?
If there's a big berm, yes, but if you put 5 inches of gravel, a lot of times you take away the berm because you build up above the berm.
Well, I guess that's my point, are we gonna take care of some berms?
Yes.
At the
Where it's
same
needed.
time?
Where it's needed.
Okay.
The graders will be there, and we'll grade and shape the roads with, you know, by adding the gravel.
So about how many miles of gravel road are we gonna be doing?
Oh, I knew you were gonna ask something like that. Cause it's.
You want me to go dig?
Do you have it?
I think I do.
Alright. It's probably. I don't know how much, 10, 12 miles. That's a considerable amount of gravel that there. I wanna say it was 12,700 tons of gravel. So right now, like for the township to patch, we're giving them 1,500 tons. So this is 10 times that.
Yes, that's one of my concerns is the fact that we're gonna be doing all this work because of these solar fields. What's gonna happen with the rest of the county?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like the paper patch, as we're paper patching, those will get paper patched. And then when we come through a chip seal, we'll chip seal, and it'll just be a, you know, process of, you know, go around the areas that we gotta hit in an order. But the gravel, the road's really needed anyway, you know, so.
Correct, I understand the fact that the roads need to be worked on. But we also adopted a policy of 100% payment for townships when it's contracted. I think.
They are paying, well, they're paying 100%
They're
of the
paying
material.
100%, but they're not paying 100% of the actual work.
Yeah,
Neither do the townships. Townships pay material, and we pay labor and equipment.
When we do a paved road, when it's a contract, they pay 100%.
Yes.
That's what Mark's referring to.
But these aren't an overlay contracted paved road.
I understand that, but my concern is the fact that we're gonna fall short for the rest of the townships in this county.
I don't think we will. It's 7.43 miles total.
That's just gravel.
That's just the gravel.
That's a good sized project.
You put
So-
like 1,500 ton a mile.
So that's,
Yep, 1,500 ton per mile.
that's 225,000 that they're gonna be paying for the material. That's just the gravel ones. And then the paved one is just shy of, 200,000, 190 and some change, I think,
And that was it 2 miles or 3 miles
for what?
of blacktop?
Is that on Jones?
That's Jones Mill Bun.
No, just Hillsdale.
They got bun in here? We are gonna put some on Bun. 1.18 miles of Jonesville,
That's primary, so that'd be 100% of us anyway.
but they're paying.
Right, they're paying.
And so on that one, they're paying 153.6 for their portion, paying all the materials. That's 1,350 tons of paver patching and then chip seal.
That's 100% better than a bond though.
Oh, yes,
I agree with
yes.
that part, and they did the damage, they should help pay for it.
Mhm.
It wasn't like.
And to be honest with you, they didn't do all the damage. I'm sure they did the significant portion of it, but all of our regular traffic, just like every other road, was in bad shape until we started scraping them. It would have been bad too, they just added traffic. So they didn't do 100% of the damage, but they're gonna fund 100% of the materials. What are we figuring there?
Well, I went to a road conference,
Oh, that's scary.
Oh,
and we talked about
no.
the additive to gravel.
Yep.
Would this be a good place
Absolutely not.
to explore that?
Absolutely not. That material, I was gonna get into it a little
Okay,
bit.
alright,
That material will be good for, if we're gonna crush a road or heavy grade it to work the whole surface up, add that material, then compact it, and it'll make a hard, solid base. It is not meant to be a wear surface, it's meant to be capped with something. So if we're not capping it, I highly recommend you don't do it. It'll be good for probably 3 or 4 years, but as soon as it starts getting some chuck holes in it, it's basically like concrete at that point. It's hard as hard, and the only way to fix it is to grind it back up again. So if you're using it as a base to harden it, which Monte Carlo could be a good thing, harden that up and pave it. If you're gonna pave over it, yes, I would say we would at least try it. I've got the guys, he sent me all his info, and we've talked a few times already. But in my opinion, it has to be kept.
with asphalt.
Yes. They kind of, so on the south, they do that and then put like a double chip seal on it.
Right.
If you keep up with that, again, could be a good thing, but go up to Calhoun and see some of their double chip seal roads that, oh, by the way, we didn't have enough money to chip seal this year.
Yeah.
And next year, and next year, and as soon as it potholes up,
You get potholes like this table.
you've gotta grind it up. There's no fixing it. So, it's,
So you're telling me it's a product used not so much with as much swing in temperature as we get?
Yeah, you got it, right there.
well, it's not really the swinging temperatures, it's not meant to be a wear surface. You
But
gotta
that's
put
not what
something
he
on.
was selling it as at that road
Yeah, he
conference.
was, and he'll tell you that. Down south, where they don't have the freeze thaw and all the, they might be able to let that go for 10 years. I don't know, but as soon as that starts, and he has the little samples there that are
Yeah.
everywhere from 4, 6, or 8 inch pucks, that's made out of it. It's hard as a brick.
Right.
But once it starts rattling, there's no fixing it. They say there is, but we've played that game before.
Okay.
But I think it could be very good to establish a good solid base under something.
What is this?
It's called Permazine. It's just a comes in a 5-gallon bucket, you mix it with water, and 3 of those 5-gallon buckets will do a mile, and it's $9,000 to do a mile. So 3 5-gallon buckets is $9,000.
I'm in the wrong business.
I wanted to do something.
But in the grand scheme of things, if you're using that to lock up a base, and you have a good solid base, now your asphalt on top won't deteriorate as quick, kinda like Diane. Some of those edges were heavy trucks or something, or just people are running on the edges. If you had a good solid base under there, that would hold a whole lot better. That's my opinion.
Well, my ears perked up for that 1 mile of Brown Road if we're gonna pulverize it. And was that a option, because if we pulverize that one, that's going, we're not just adding stone on top, and is that a good application to try that?
If you're gonna cap it with something. If you're just gonna leave it, I recommend you don't do it.
But and again, when I was talking, he was not capping those were gravel roads.
No, he's a salesman too.
Well, I know he's a salesman, I get that he's a salesman, I'm just saying that is not
$9,000
at all
for
what he
gallons.
was saying, and I asked several ways, and I know he's a salesman, so, alright.
I have dealt with that type of product before, and like I said, once you lock it up, and it will lock up and be hard, and it won't be dusty for a few years. And then you're gonna spend money grinding it back up, probably. Alright.
Did you need approval on that one?
No.
Well, for the Heartwood contracts, once they sign them, then yes,
They'll
we'll
come
need to have you sign it. It's just like a township contract, they're just gonna supply the match or the material to do it. The water issue on Hillsdale and Harmon. We briefly talked about that earlier, but, right now, they're out there right now, and they've finished, they put cement blocks, lock them together to try to form a dam if it rains too hard this weekend. They also put fabric over the block to help with water, and then put gravel on both sides to somewhat hopefully slow that water down or stop the water if it rains and doesn't flood the church out again. Like I said, we do have to work on that with the Amish resident. The individuals that helped us with those blocks have actually already talked to the 2 bishops in the area, and I guess they're on board or understand what happened, and so we just got to continue our talks and get them to. Again, I think it needs to be open ground, tubes under the roads, and that would take care of everything. Now, I don't expect that tube under Harmon to be so deep that one, it causes an issue on the other side of the road. It's not going to drain the whole thing on the part that's holding the water. We can drain it down to where it doesn't affect the road and maybe get it 2 foot under the road or something so that the water can stay at that level and not come up over the road. But that's the level that needs to be the tube, which is still going to leave water there. But if any rain comes in, it'll flow, and that's the only time it flows when it rains. So the business owner on top of the hill, Paige, even said that he would bring his equipment down, because right now it's kind of a swampy, nasty, brushy area. He said he'd bring his equipment down, and between those 2 culverts, that's his property, he would do an actual ditch line, like a deeper ditch, to get the water to consistently stay in that ditch and flow from one tube to the other and out the other side, which would help immensely. So if we can get the Amish resident to pay for the tubes, I think we could do them easy enough. We're actually looking at one because we just got a permit in to put a tube under Moore Road, and they're talking about just pushing a 18-inch, basically 18-inch pipe. They're going to just bore / push through the road, not have to open cut the road or anything. And so we're going to talk to that contractor to say, what could you do on Hillsdale Road instead of open cutting it if we could get the a tube like that pushed through, I think that would work too, and not disturb the compaction and the asphalt and all that.
We did that on Camden Road,
Okay.
board two.
So, and I was originally thinking 18 to 20, 24-inch tube would be all you need on both of those to handle the rainwater.
That was for a tile though, but we bored that and it worked great. Yeah, but that, they also said they could do the same thing. But
So, to me, the Hillsdale Road one's the big issue because it's so
Yeah.
deep. And if we could push one through there, that'd be awesome. The Harmon Road, we can replace that in a half a day, guys. So that's kind of where we stand with that, we're still working on that. We have another water issue down at Mary Lake. There's a house that's like a little subdivision that kind of goes back in there and it just makes a U off the territorial road. And they built a house in a spot that is a hole, and it's collecting water. And now they want us to ditch a deep ditch to get their water out to territorial. And unless we dug probably a 4 or 5 foot ditch, it's not gonna take care of their water issue. There is a ditch there already, and we can, and we will go out there and, you know, swale it out as good as we can. But I've got a few pictures here too, but where their driveway comes to the road, if our ditch is there, it still won't be low enough to get the water that's at their house. And at one time, that whole area, the house, everything right up to the road was full of water. It's gone down now a little bit, now it's just around the house. So the ditch is sitting here dry, and the house is surrounded by water.
that's always been a wet lot, always.
Apparently. And
I don't know why you would build on a wet lot.
so they're contacting us, wanting us to fix their problem. We're saying it's really not our problem. There's no place to put the road water. There's not even any easements in that subdivision to run it to the lake. Like most subdivisions have like a drainage easement. There's none there. So it's all private property that people own and nobody's evidently wanting to
Sounds like
let it
we
drain
don't
go.
know.
So, in my opinion, yeah, they're building a hole. They may need to add some fill around, because they've got the footers all in right now. And they may need to add fill to then get the water to get to the ditch. Then it can go, but as far as, I don't know if they can put enough fill in there or not, but.
So the house isn't built yet,
Oh, no, it's just the
foundation.
foundation.
You might wanna raise your foundation.
Yeah, that's what that's gonna.
Well,
It's been dry evidently for years, and so it got sold, and this year, whoop, it's wet.
Over the last 2 years, it's really been dry.
And there's another,
Until
like they've
spring.
got their property here that's off of this road, the road loops around. There's another one that goes off, kind of like connects to their property, but goes off to the road over here. That has always been wet also, and it's even to the point where it's only like a foot off of the house over here, the water, and it's standing water there. So that whole area is low. And so again, we will try to see what we can do with that ditch line, but it's we're gonna take shots at territory where the tube's at, the bottom of the tube, and we'll see what we can get for fall at their driveway.
Mhm.
And that's really all we can do. And we'll take it from there.
If you're lower.
Okay, we got
6 to 12 months.
a minor issue, or you just gotta call it, on Litchfield Road at 120, or at US 12. We've got a property owner that has cleared that point where Litchfield Road comes in, US 12 comes in. They cleared the woods and stuff and brought in gravel, put in a driveway with an old tube. No permit. MDOT has also contacted us and said that they recommend we remove that driveway. Because that should be a clear vision area for people coming off of Litchfield Road onto 12. So we don't really like it being there. MDOT doesn't like it being there. I went out and put a card, drove a stake in and put a card in the driveway, asked them to give me a call. They gave me a call. He basically told me to take a leap and guess he's thinking he's gonna put a hot dog stand or something there. I'm not sure who's gonna stop at Litchfield and 12 to get a hot dog, but,
Somebody gonna get killed if they're coming off
Mhm.
12 on the Litchfield Road.
and if
60
you've
mile
ever,
an hour.
and I sat there and watched
It's on the
them.
other side,
It's on the other
where you
side.
come,
Like-
you stop at 12, cause I
Oh,
took a gander as I drove by the other day. I can't believe they're putting it there.
Mm.
There's no way to pull off the road. You're supposed to
Yeah.
be getting to somewhere else. There was at that little blue-gray house, there was a food truck trailer sitting there.
That's,
maybe that's what they're gonna.
it is,
put
It is,
yes,
huh?
yes.
Yeah, and
That house that's just down 12 to the west is the property owner, and
Yeah.
they're wanting to do that.
I don't understand why they just don't put it at their property.
That's what I
That would
thought.
make a whole lot more sense. Can
Put
they
it in
build
yard.
in the right of way that way, or is it
Well-
something we can go to court over?
There's some of that that's out of the right of way. Litchfield Road has a right of way, US 12 has a right of way, they kind of pinch together right there. And he's cleared out a little spot to where the driveway comes across our right of way on Litchfield Road. But then there's an open area, but he's also cleared area over onto the MDOT right of way that doesn't have a driveway over there, but
Right.
MDOT's like, no, that needs to be a clear vision area for people coming out. So, would you back us if depending on what they put there, removing that driveway?
Yes.
'Cause for one, he doesn't have a permit from us for the driveway. Two, he used an old tube, he said there was an existing driveway there, and it's an old tube, he picked it up and shook it out and put it back in and put new gravel on it. So they used an old tube, which we don't allow old tubes for a driveway. There's multiple things going on here, but he doesn't seem like he's the easy one to work with, and he's like, well, I'll let my lawyers work with you. So that's where we're at, but
And
more to
there's,
come on that.
well, if you're building a building, there are rules about how close you can build to the road. Are there not rules about putting these trailers close to the road?
They can't be in the right of way.
Not
Especially
right.
on a state highway.
Clear vision.
The state has a lot more, I guess the state has a lot more authority, because I think technically they own
Yeah.
the right of way.
That's
Right.
We,
state right of way.
so it's not a right of way, it's state property.
Yeah.
You know, they allow everybody to do their yards and their driveways and all that on it, but it's state property. Ours is a right of way. And so we have a road and we have the right to work there, but it's still their property. They still have to get permission to do certain things, but, so it's a little bit different, but it comes down to if we need to remove that tube, we can go out there with a backhoe or whatever and pull it out and dig out the ditch and,
Well,
but it
geez,
could be a.
But it goes back to, I guess, building code would not allow a building that close to the road.
but Moscow
And
Township-
so, they still have building codes they have to follow, Hillsdale County building codes.
Correct.
I don't know
So,
about a trailer, if
Portable.
they put that trailer exactly in the center, they could put it in there without hitting the right of ways. And it's just a driveway coming off a very busy, convoluted area.
So is the driveway coming up from 12 or off
It's
from
off of,
Litchfield,
Litchfield Road?
but it's only
on the west side,
20, 30 feet from the stop sign.
correct.
Oh, my word.
And you're coming Litchfield Road, and you gotta bend around like this to
Yeah.
get to 12, and it's all that area right there. He's leveled that whole area there, and that's where he wants to put it.
State right of way is 100 foot, ain't it?
Right there it is, I asked Chris.
Yeah. If he's got onto the state right of way though, then the Attorney General can come after him.
The only thing he's done on the state right of way right now is leveled it up. He cut some trees and leveled it up. So that's really the same as somebody taking care of their yard.
Right.
If he plants grass there and mows it,
Yeah,
so be it.
they won't bother.
However, whatever he puts there, and then whatever traffic
If he puts a structure,
tries to go there, he's not putting a structure, he wants to put a hot dog
Trailer.
stand, it's a trailer.
Food trailer.
So they could probably move that in and out daily, or, I don't know, but I don't know what his plan is, so.
Maybe we better wait and see what his plan is.
Yeah, hopefully he decides it's not a good idea, but he's put a lot of work into it.
Is anybody posed the question to him, you know, are you prepared for the liability issues that you're gonna have?
I
Or something.
started to go in that with him, and he basically told me to take a flying leap, and he'll contact his lawyer.
You're getting a lot of that this week.
I know.
I don't know if I remember right now, but isn't that known as Dead Man's Curve?
And let me tell you, the time I was sitting there, the few cars that came off of 12 and went down Litchfield, they were easily doing their 55,
Well, yeah, they don't slow down.
right through there. And I would hate to see somebody trying to
Yeah.
park or pull off there or something.
That was what it's called, Dead Man's Curve.
Okay, some more to come.
So you want to stop
You got a lot of
and get hot dog.
We have been talking with, or should I have been talking with the townships and Corrigan Oil when it comes to extra brine that people have been, I think some people have been used to doing it, some people want to do it in front of their houses. We've asked Corrigan not to take any of those contracts again this year. We asked them last year. If they want extra brine, we just ask them to come to see us. Work through us just like a township contract. Our only requirement's gonna be that it's not a checkerboard effect, so we can't do 300 foot in front of your house and then go a little bit and do 300 foot in front of their house, and because that's what everybody wants to do, is like this 300 foot in front of their house to keep dust down. We can't have that checkerboard effect like that, so we're asking that, can I do it, come and see us, we'll do it up a contract, but it's gonna be for a mile chunk from like intersection to intersection, so that it doesn't surprise anybody and that section is either dusty or it's not, you know. And in the grand scheme of things, Corrigan charges us a lot less than they charge residents to come out with a small truck and do 300 foot. I think they're in the 45 to 48 cents a gallon range at that. They charge us like 19.4 cents a gallon or something.
3,000 gallon, right?
And yeah, the
So
number
that's only $570 for the whole mile.
well, and then we take half of it.
Right.
Just like a township contract. So basically it comes out to about $300 a mile for residents, and you can have multiple residents in that mile pitch in. So to me, it's not that big of a burden. But we can't have that checkerboard effect. They've had a couple of wrecks in the mainly in the UP, where people have gone on a regular road and then went into a dusty area and went off the road and hit a tree. A couple of them have been killed, some have been seriously injured. And so McChrysop is actually asking, don't do that checkerboard, you know. And so that's why.
Well, I think Corrigan's charging them $300 for 300 feet.
I'm not even sure. I
And
know
for
it was,
$570, you get the whole mile.
yes.
That's a no-brainer. You gotta have a neighbor somewhere.
So I've talked to a couple of townships. I gotta go to Litchfield on Monday to their township meeting. They've asked me to come and explain that to them. Even though I've explained it over the phone to them, but just, you know, that's, all the townships, I think, are getting their contracts in. Some of them are doing one brine, some of them are doing two. I think Hillsdale always does 3, but they only got like 6 miles.
Yeah.
So the brines are gonna get done. And then plus, we had a lot of complaints in years past of, they paid that, whatever, to have 300 foot done in their house, in front of the house, and we come through and grade the next day. We don't know where you're putting it. And so that makes them mad. So now we can make sure it's graded and ready for the brine, we don't come back and grade it. So, to me, it just helps all the way around. But unless you have an issue with that.
Since we're talking about Brian, which part of the county are we starting in this year? You guys come up with a,
I can't remember right now.
Yeah, they
I have other
don't
things.
quote me, I wanna say it's the northeast,
I
so
can't
and
Somerset,
going,
they're gonna start in
East
Somerset?
I think so. Don't quote me on it, but
Yeah, don't quote them. We'll find out in the next board meeting.
let's see if Heather tells me. No, not yet. Okay,
The
so,
town isn't working here.
so moving on, we did the street sweeping bid. A reminder, the Southeast District meeting we're hosting on May 4th. That'll be at Lewis Emery Park. Karen's been setting up the food and drinks and all that kind of stuff. And the RSVPs are going out. And
That starts at 9 or 9:30.
it's usually 9 for coffee and rolls or whatever, and then the meeting starts at 9:30.
So if you guys are, whoever's planning on going, just let us know so we can have it accounted for. the amount of people.
We're gonna have another meeting before that, so we can let you know that.
Yes.
Yes, cause that's just what check we've got, or what money we've got to.
Whatever, yeah.
Let's see. Last thing I hope is vehicles. After going to the CRA conference, I was talking with a couple of the manufacturers for the trucks and the truck builds that have the back end built. They're talking 4 to 6 months to get a cab and chassis from the manufacturer, and then 14 to 18 months to have it built. So you're talking 2 years if we order one right now before we can get that truck in use. So, I guess what I'm gonna ask is, we ordered 2 Western Star cabin chassis, here quickly. We still have time to discuss and approve, get the exact numbers for the truck builds from Truck and Trailer or wherever that happens to go. But to get the cabin chassis coming now, we might get those this year, pay for them this year, and then the builds will be next year to pay for. We also have a need for 2 pickups. I've got all kinds of info for you on the pickups.
I have a question. So were you gonna go any farther with Western Stars?
What's that?
Were you going any farther with the,
No.
oh, okay.
And those would be on my deal, I believe, through Wolverine, like we've always done. They're the local, my deal for Western Star. And I've got some.
So you're just talking about buying the cabin chassis and then?
Yeah, we gotta do them separate anyway. So the
Yeah.
cabin chassis have to get bought from the
Right.
Western Star dealer, and then the builds come from Truck and Trailer or Navide or whoever builds it. So the Western Star 47X dump truck, a 2027, is $162,858.
What's that equipped with?
Well, all the specs are right here, but it's just the basic cabin chassis.
Right, what motor, what transmission?
I can go through the whole thing if you want.
Just hand it here.
Setback axle.
I know it's a hard job, but I'd like to see us kind of get standardized on one kind of a truck and
So
one
they're
kind of a
calling
motor.
They're calling the engine equipment the EPA 210 GHG 2024 configuration. So whatever that is, but we got the entire spec. And it's the same exact spec that we ordered the last 2. So it's a good match.
I think those was Detroit's.
So yeah, we got the entire spec here, and then we've got the truck build spec will be the same, which is the hook loader
Oh, you're getting
style.
those.
I think we need to stick with those for a while.
Okay, well,
But you don't need all the boxes, so we can do a
Right.
dump box and a solder box. Then we can pick whatever we want, because all the boxes will interchange.
Right.
So if we got another chip box laying here, any truck can pick it up.
Right.
And so I think we've got chip boxes, 2 chip boxes, 2 dump boxes, 2 solder inserts. And so we can get they got one that's enclosed, like an enclosed trailer that is a job site. You got a garage door on it, you put all your tools in it for a specific job, like our bridges. Close it up, and you set it right on the job and lock it up and move it around anytime you want. There's got another one that's just a flatbed. You could load up to, I believe, a skid steer on it and pull right up on the truck. So, there's just other options, we can get a tank for spraying water and chloride, you know, things like that, but those can all be done anytime. Now that we really need is a dump and a salter,
You gonna put a wing on it, or?
yes. And then they'll always go through the state to get paid for
Correct.
over 5 years. But I think you need to be on a rotation of probably 2 trucks a year for a while to get the fleet back up to a little better standard. And then you may be able to cut back to like 1 this year, 2 this year, 1 this year, 2, to keep it.
So we've got it rotated out, and we haven't got 3 trucks in the garage that are broke down because they're 35 years old.
So anyway, that's the cabin chassis for the Western Star. And I'll bring the truck build spec and everything to you maybe next meeting.
Okay.
Then we can work on that and see where you wanna have that.
So you chose Western Stars, is that because they're the least expensive?
No, they probably are pretty close to the least expensive, but they're like the industry standard for this type of equipment we need. You know, it's a service truck that it isn't an over-the-road truck. It's not, you know, it's specifically made for municipalities to.
I think they're entering the market, because I'm seeing a lot of road commissions and MDOT using
Everybody's
Western
buying Western Star.
At one time, they were all
Stars. At one time, it was
international.
international.
Then everybody went to Peterbilt for a while, and then, but right now, for quite a few years now, Western Star has been the truck for
Well, they're ready
municipalities.
to do the build, cause some of them, when you did the build, you had to move the muffler, you had to move this, you had to move that, and.
And that's the same thing when I come to do the truck builds. I'm probably gonna request this truck and trailer, cause they've done hundreds, if not thousands of them across the state, and they're all built the same, you know, so the truck that we got 4 years ago is gonna have the wires run in the same place, the hydraulic lines run in the same place. And they're just easier to work on, easier to maintain.
Standardization.
Yep.
Alaska DOT uses all Max.
So anyway, I guess I would like to
I wouldn't wanna buy all
ask if
Max.
you'll approve purchasing 2 cabin chassis Western Stars.
Did you know that?
So you need a motion?
I would say yes.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion?
Yes,
Okay,
okay, so you provided us with this equipment list a couple meetings ago.
Okay.
In the last 4 years, we've bought 7 new dump trucks. And prior to that, about the time I started in January of 2021, the county had just bought a used dump truck from the city that had very little use. I'm gonna vote no on this because some of these vehicles, if we bought 7 in the last 4 years, that means some of them have been already taken off the state highway and put on the county, or we haven't gotten the reimbursement that we potentially could have had if we wouldn't have bought 7 that quickly. And in addition to that, I mean, with the number of primary roads in this county that need new blacktops, we've got to be doing more in that area. So that's where I'm coming from.
Well, we still have several individuals that don't even have a truck. When it snows, we've got people sitting here that we either have to try to put them in a grader, which if it's heavy snow and on gravel roads, that's great, we'll use them. But they're going in pickup trucks and 1-tons with like little front plows. They don't even have a plow truck to get in. That doesn't do us any good to have people sitting here and can't even actually should be enough trucks for every single person, plus a few spares, cause there's always gonna be something broke. So, to me, your size fleet should have at least 6 spares, just given, as an easy given. And we're not even close to that. And buying 1 truck a year, or a truck every other year, you're gonna get farther away from that. We got 2 or 3 Sterlings that are needing to go, they're about to give up the ghost. All I can do, I can recommend what I think is the best bet for our fleet, and
How many plow trucks do we have again?
I don't have the sheet, I don't believe it.
There's 30 on this list.
And so we got 30, Four.
I think is there a total of 38?
38
I can't remember how many.
drivers.
Drivers, exactly.
And right now, they're showing 3 spares, and those drivers that don't have trucks, they jump into those if they're not broke. I mean, even the Internationals down here, the 2006, that's a 20-year-old truck.
We have, I count on this list 10 or 11 one-tons.
And we're short on those. We just had one go down, and it got sold. We use these trucks for different reasons at different times of the year. And if you don't have them,
So again, number wise, I'm just thinking numbers, we have 18 townships, and we have 1 truck per township for snow
Yes.
plowing.
yes.
Plus, we must have additional ones that are running the primaries and the state roads.
Well, the state has 5. Actually, it was 6 with a floater that helps them anytime they need to. So there's 6 trucks on the state trunk line.
6 plus 18 must be 24, okay? And so that's the minimum we need is 24.
If they're all running, yes. So
Right, if they're all running, the 24. So at 30, that's 6 spares, but that doesn't sound right, does it?
that's not what we have. Well, you got 3 spares here on the list. Because, well, I said there's 3 spares, but we also on this list, it shows 3 new hires that they don't have, they would have to get one of those trucks too.
Cause on that list, I don't believe we had the people that retired on that list.
Right. But no, well, what I'm thinking is on the road, we need 18, 1 for each township, and then you need 6 for the state highways,
Minimum.
minimum. And that's 24.
Okay.
So you say we have 3 spares, so that takes us to 27. So what do those other 3 trucks and drivers do as a minimum?
They normally will go out and help others with the primaries, with the heavy.
They're floaters.
Yes.
Subdivisions.
They're floaters, okay.
There's actually, when you say the 1 per township, there's actually more than that. 'Cause like Somerset has a specific route just for those 2 lakes.
Okay.
That's what they do, is those 2 lakes. But then the rest of Somerset gets done,
Okay.
with that truck. And there's a couple unique things like that. Amboy gets split in 2 because it's a long,
Right.
but.
Well, I have
The bottom 9 trucks are over 20 years old, if not 25 years old. That's just too old for these trucks, and that's why they break.
But on many of the lakes, you use 1-tons
Some of them, yeah.
because the big ones are too big to turn.
Yep.
So,
And usually that's the foreman and the superintendent, to be honest with you. They use their pickup trucks to,
Plow the cul-de-sacs.
they help plow out the intersections where the truck on the state roads go, they go straight through. They'll help do the Y that's right there in the center. When we snow, we have everybody out there.
if we wouldn't have bought 7 new trucks in the last 4 years, I could see this.
And I think they lost
Well,
like
Yeah,
4
we
or 5,
sold,
we sold.
Yeah.
Well, the other side of that story is the reason we bought 7 new trucks is because there were delay buying going on prior to that purchase, then you had, then you had COVID. So between those two things is why that delayed buying happened, and I would believe, because again, the delay in getting the trucks, you need to be in line every year to get 2 trucks. If you don't want your equipment to be 20 and 30 years old at the bottom of the list.
And last year's conference, CRA conference, the one seminar I attended, that was one of the subjects, was the fact that road commissions across the state have aging fleets. And the difficulty in replacing equipment, mainly plow trucks. And the cost too, I mean, a plow truck's what, 380,000 now, or?
Yeah, they're about.
Yeah, 380,000, that's, I agree with you on the fact that the money could be used for the primary roads, but then again, we have to keep a fleet updated to a certain extent, or we can't even maintain the roads that we've rebuilt or repaired.
I could see this decision being made, say, 6 months down the line, when we know what kind of an new income stream we're gonna have from this new money from the state. But I don't have a problem buying a couple of new pickups. But I'm not in favor of ordering 2 new dump trucks at this point in time.
But buying these 2 dump trucks is part of what our budget was for this year.
Yes.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, that CD that's been sitting there ever since I've been here
Right.
was made for 2 dump trucks.
Yeah.
But again, our budget that we built for 26 included buying 2 dump trucks. So we're not going outside our plan.
And
We
that's,
figured 2 dump trucks, 2 pickups, 2 1-tons.
Right.
And then I believe also 1 more high reach and a hot box.
Well, we wouldn't be putting out any money for the bills for a couple of years.
Yeah, right now we would put out the 300-some thousand for the 2 camper chassis. This is gonna be
take them,
a year and a half, 2 years down the road.
before they put the boxes and the other equipment on.
Even these won't get paid for until fall.
Any more discussion? We got a motion.
Motion support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. So the next would be the need for 2 pickup trucks. Where's my little sheet at? Got too much stuff here.
Is it in the paper clipped with the Wolverine stuff maybe?
It's in there.
Katie, your job is keep them straight.
I tried.
No, it's one. Handwritten notes. Got old school. So we got quotes from My Deal vendors, for Ford, GMC, Chevy, and Dodge. Most of them are in the 52, well, I'll just go down. The Ford F-250 is a 52,623. GMC is 52,770. The Dodge Ram is 43,820. And the Chevy is 51,470.
The Chevy again is how much?
51,470.
Well, I know why we own Dodges.
Okay,
I
so,
know why we own Dodges.
well, with that, this is why you don't want to own Dodge.
Oh,
Okay.
here we go. Here we go.
So,
He's done his homework.
It is homework.
Yes.
Yeah, they did
We
my
did.
homework.
That's because
So
they didn't
for-
shut 'em off.
For the Ford F-350s that we currently have is, and they're 2014 Ford F-350s. We spent $20,280 on repairs. The other one is $22,273. So that's any major repairs, if it lost an engine, if it, whatever, that's what we've spent on those two trucks. On the Dodge trucks, are actually newer trucks. And
Yeah,
they're
what year are they?
this one's 2015.
Yep.
We spent $35,959.
On how many trucks?
Well, that's just
That's
one.
That's one truck.
Okay, that was a new motor, probably.
That's,
On the next one is another 2015, is $40,620.
We should have jumped out.
Well, that's ones that are out there. This one's a 2017 Dodge, $40,942. That's another 2017 at $33,119.
So I'm pretty much thinking you don't think we should buy a Dodge.
Well, you're talking $7,500 or, difference between a Dodge and Chevy or GMC. We've lost more engines and transmissions with those Dodges than you can, and there's one sitting over here right now that's gone. And that's why we're needing that one replaced. And we'll sell, we've got that on the auction right now just to sell it.
It's not a driver issue, right? I'm joking, I know it's not.
Some could be, but
No, I do not think that at all.
But-
I was being a little.
I guess what I'm saying, we had
The move.
the ladies and Joe go back and look to see what issues have we had. And we've had significant issues with these motors and transmissions mainly. And we spent a lot of money fixing them, where Ford, probably even Chevy and GM haven't had those same issues, doing the same type of work. So personally, I would like to recommend the GMC. Now, one of the reasons, again, is I personally used them in Jackson. We ordered 17 of them at one time. They all got upfitted. They're all still running great. We have no issues with them. And part of this is also going to be the upfitters. So for those pickups, you got to put your radios in, your lights on, your toolboxes, your running boards, all the little tools that we have to put on our trucks. To get that all done from the traditional, or I should say, a traditional upfitter that we've used in the past is $13,700 per truck. There's a upfitter or vendor in Jackson that is doing GMC trucks because they just did 6 of them for Jackson. That includes the front plow, so that's the big part of that.
You gotta buy a new plow?
Well, for one, it's different style trucks and those mounts and everything aren't
Yeah,
really.
well, you can buy a mount.
There's one in Jackson that'll do that entire upfitter for just shy of $10,000.
Wasn't the Chevy cheaper than the GMC?
A couple $100.
Buy the Chevy.
I thought it was $1,300 difference. 52,770 versus 51,470.
That's less than
They
$1,000.
come right down
just
to,
compare it to
they
Dodge.
come right down the same line, the Chevys and the GMCs.
There are a few other tweaks that GM does make to them.
Not much. Yeah, one says GMC and one says Chevy.
GMC is a better truck. Still better.
Again, a lot of it can be personal preference, I know you like the Dodge.
I've had good luck with it, but I gotta come, I don't have.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I've got a gas with 160,000 on it.
So these are all with gas engines.
Yes.
they're all gas engines,
Yeah.
we're not gonna try another, go diesel engines.
We've
That's
never
about-
had.
We haven't had these.
You can put about $14,000 on there.
Oh, I thought our pickups were diesel.
They're all gases.
That's part of the problem, and I'll upfront say, with the Dodges losing the engines, is what we do a lot of times, the truck idles. And their engines aren't putting enough pressure or oil to the top of the engine, and we're losing the engine tops. Now, yes, we can stop idling as much, but there's always things that we have to do that we're idling.
You have to sit there with your lights on.
Yeah.
So your battery will go dead and you can't start your Dodge.
Well, a second battery would be a lot cheaper than putting a new engine in, and boats run second batteries for those specific reasons. So that you don't lose batteries, so that you can run that stuff, and still be able to start the vehicle.
There's just a lot of things we do that truck idles idles very slow behind the work crew, or, it's just nature of the beast. I guess, with that being said, I personally recommend the GMC.
I would agree.
Is there a couple bells and whistles on it? Probably. That's what makes the difference in it. Has to do probably with some of the safety features, some of the cameras, some of the, little things that they put on the GMC. And I don't see why our guys can't have some of those issues.
I've owned them all.
Mhm.
And I had trouble with every one of them.
That sounds
Sounds
like a
like
common.
driver
I was gonna say,
operator.
sounds like a common-
there.
Well,
Oh,
I had a motor, I had to put in the Chevy, the transmission, and the GMC, I had to put a transfer case in.
I had a Chevy Chevette and had issues with it, so.
Well, that was different, that's a roller skate. Ford, the front end went on it.
And just so you know, we got all these, were the lower bids that he could find, and they're all quotes from LaFontaine and Lansing. So they deal with all the different
They're the big
models.
dealers, big dealers.
And they're one of the area My Deal dealers. Not every dealer does My Deal.
These are just pickups, these ain't a one ton.
Not really pick it. One time's a come.
I wouldn't mind trying a GMC.
So these are 3/4 ton pickups.
A lot of my farmers have.
There'll be 3/4 ton pickups with the
I don't know, I
boss
never asked
speed
them
plow on
why.
front,
I
lights,
never asked
and
them why.
running boards.
My
all
dad
that.
owned GMCs for a few
Toolboxes.
years, and you know what his nickname for him was? God's mechanical curse.
That's probably why.
If that thing got wet, that one truck he had, if it got wet, don't even plan on starting. Wouldn't start.
Somebody's gotta make a motion.
I would move that we purchase 2 GMC model pickups, 3/4 tons, at the price of $52,770.
From LaFontaine.
From LaFontaine,
Ooh.
Lansing.
We're getting technical.
I'll support
Is there any more discussion?
Nope.
Just a question I have. So you had mentioned that the upfitting of the truck, that there was a place in Jackson that would do this for around 10 grand versus.
Now, we still have to do that as a bid too. So that's
Okay.
that's not part of this.
Okay.
This is just the truck.
It's a
This
separate,
is just the truck.
But we know about what it's gonna be.
yeah,
And that's, $3,000 less if it's a
Almost
GMC.
4.
yeah,
And-
almost 4.
Being a
And we
GMC,
can knock them out fairly quick, he said.
that's
'cause
what they
he's
do.
Good at
Yep.
that.
So that makes a big difference there.
Yeah.
But that still has to be 2
Right.
quotes, and
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
bring that
Yeah.
back to you. I guess technically, both of those quotes are under my spending authority, but that's still too high for me to go out and without your approval. So,
Well, I appreciate that discussion to happen at this board level, so that
Yes.
we're aware of what we're doing and how we're doing it,
Yes.
and that we're doing our due diligence.
Yeah.
So I appreciate having the conversation. station, even though technically you wouldn't have to.